I'm Zachary Mullock, Mayor of the City of Cape May. The DCA grants that we've received have been so important to the City of Cape May because they've allowed us to do these projects that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise, and that's what's so important about it. Especially the projects like the beach walk, and all the people who are handicapped, people who are in wheelchairs, who haven't been able to experience the beach in decades sometimes. I mean, I've received letters from some of the families saying, thank you so much. And I do remind them that this was state grant, and we thank the DCA because we have families now that are experiencing the beach that haven't experienced it maybe ever, and sometimes in decades.
Yeah, so right now we're standing on with the beautiful, wonderful noise that we have here in the City of Cape May with these seagulls. We're standing on the beach walk. We call this the beach walk. And this is our ADA accessible mats that have been just such a tremendous success. This is basically either the start or the end of it, right on the corner here at the cove where the lighthouse is. And that goes 1.5 miles all the way down our beaches, which really has been just such a wonderful success.
We've kind of created little nodes that people can get off of the walk in a wheelchair. The family can surround them, and so it's a beautiful thing to see. Some of the access to the promenade that we have were DCA projects. The ramps that we didn't have before, it was only steps. So legitimately life-changing for some of these people. We also purchased 20 new beach wheelchairs through the DCA grant. Again, someone who is wheelchair bound can come to the City of Cape May, go to the lifeguard headquarters and request a wheelchair that was purchased through DCA grant funding, and have a beach wheelchair to get out onto the beach, enjoy it with their family. It just makes such a huge difference.
But this has just been so wonderful for everybody. Again, for whether it be parents and mothers with strollers or fathers with strollers and surfboards and all the stuff that we bring to the beach, or folks that are wheelchair bound. And I've gotten so many beautiful letters from people just thanking the City of Cape May and saying, again, that we haven't been to the beach in so many years and haven't been able to experience it. And another thing that's wonderful about the beach walk is one of the things that we take pride in the City of Cape May is our dune, and making sure that the dune system is biodiverse and it provides a good environment, but frankly, more importantly, a strong root system for storm surge. But one of the difficult issues with that has been, of course, we've gotten complaints about the growth of the dune. We have people who live on the beachfront who don't want to see that dune get so large. But the fact is, now that we have the beach walk on the front, again, people can experience the ocean, see the views that you can't see from the promenade anymore because of the importance of having a strong dune system.
We had this beautiful church, the 1880s. It was built. It has this beautiful, wonderful history. I mean, really, honestly, incredible. But unfortunately, had a fire. That fire really destroyed not just the bell tower, which we had to be demolished, but the whole interior was completely smoked out. And what happened was, because it was an electrical fire. Fortunately, it was right across the street from our fire department, but the fire department had to wait for Atlantic City Electric to turn the electricity off, so the fire did damage the church pretty significantly. Through the grant that we received, we were able to repair the church and restore it into this beautiful, now what will be a theater, which is wonderful because on that block, which the DCA has helped fund some of the improvements to the actual streetscape, the theater is really an anchor to that community now, where we have live performing arts daily. So it's not just a wonderful museum, which we have several of in that area, but this is a live action theater that just really supports the arts and culture in the City of Cape May, which is such an important part of our history and our culture here in Cape May. So I think it's such a beautiful example of the community coming together to preserve history, to preserve the architecture, but also do it in a way that is wheelchair accessible. People can use those facilities. It's really a great project all the way around. So many old towns like Cape May have this a similar issue where all of our roads were designed for horse and buggy, right? And the houses are lined that way. So between parking and pedestrian and bicycle safety, it's this difficult thing to navigate. But through some of the DCA grants that we've received and are receiving, and one of which is as part of that Kiwanis Club park project, we created a sidewalk that goes through. The next phase, which the DCA has already granted, we're going to be creating that sidewalk going all the way to Washington Street. Washington Street is one of our main entries into town and out of town, and it's very tight. There's parking on both sides, which is another issue in the city of Cape May, but there's parking on both sides. It's very tight, and we really want to get bicycles and pedestrians off of Washington Street. So getting them to cut through city property at the Physic Estate and the tennis club, connecting to Kiwanis Club, we're really creating these safe pedestrian and bicycle paths to get off of some of the most dangerous locations in town. When I'm asked, what's my favorite part about being mayor, my answer always is community, and that's maybe sounds like a canned answer, but it's so true. I mean, as mayor, what is it? I grew up in this town. What is it that you can actually, leave the town better than when you started? And there's nothing more than community development, and so if I can leave the community in a better position than when I started, then I've been a successful mayor. And doing that through the grant process, through organizations like the DCA, is a wonderful way to be able to do it.